Oh no!
Impatient for Let's Play Final Fantasy VI Blind. Yep, I have a confession to make. I have never played this game before. In fact, I've never even played a single Final Fantasy game before this. And though I have something to admit, I've kind of already seen the opening cinematic. Because you see, what happened was that I thought I was, recording something, but it turns out I was not. And so, I thought I was recording the volume, and that was, my voice, but, the game audio was not recording, and so I was like, oh dear, what? And so I thought that the issue was that I needed a composite to S-video adapter, because it seemed to work with that, it seemed to record audio with that, but, of course, since I couldn't adapt them, I couldn't record video. So, I waited, and got that, and it still didn't work, so that was the issue. So how did I get it resolved? Well, the answer is quite simple. You see, I eventually just sort of came up with this completely unjustified idea. It was just sort of a complete hunch that the software was what's to blame, not the actual recording. And, the recording, the capture card, turns out actually could record this, but for some stupid reason the software I was using, Hapog Capture, since I'm using the Hapog USB Live to record these things, that didn't really seem to like this game very much. So I ended up getting through the entire opening cinematic, not knowing about that. As you may expect, I was a bit distraught about that. Fortunately, I was able to catch it as early as I did, and I didn't actually see much beyond the opening cinematic. And it turns out it was the software all along, and now I'm using OBS to record the game. So the gameplay and audio should come out fine. One thing I should say, though, I actually really like the opening cinematic. It kind of reminds me of Chrono Cross. And, Chrono Cross is kind of a... I don't know if it's fair for me to say this, but it's kind of a divisive game. At least among fans of Chrono Trigger. And don't get me wrong, I love both games. Or mostly Chrono Trigger. But I also really enjoy Chrono Cross. And it's funny, Chrono Cross, I'm not saying it's perfect or anything, but it is indeed an interesting game. There are some serious problems with it, but I think it is a very interesting game with a unique atmosphere, and very interesting ways of, a very interesting style, I should say. And it's funny, because, like, you know, when people ask me what the loneliest game I've ever played is, I would typically say, like the two loneliest games I've ever played, I would say something like Shadow of the Colossus and Chrono Cross. Now, for Shadow of the Colossus, it seems obvious that I would say that, because, like, there are no towns, there are no villages, there's nothing to see, like, there's no one to meet. It's a world populated only by animals, plants, and the colossi. So, like, when I say that, it's like, people get it. It's like, of course, you'd say Shadow of the Colossus, that makes sense. But Chrono Cross? They'd be like, what? I mean, have you seen that? Like, Chrono Cross has tons of people, tons of characters, tons of things to interact with. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it would be particularly noteworthy. And, you know, for, like, Chrono Cross, it seems like it would be, like, the exact opposite of loneliness that it would evoke. But, you know, I don't actually think that it isn't, like, it actually is very lonely, because it's like, what's the nature of the interactions with people? They're more like business partners. The characters you collect and to join your party, they don't feel like genuine comrades. They don't know you, they're just in it for their own reasons, and they join you. When they join you, it seems more like they're just like a business partner rather than a true friend. And, they don't really seem to know you very well. And you don't get to know them either, so it's like you're tasked with the goal of, like, saving the world. And, you meet some people you just meet after, like, talking to them once. One of them you really just beat by besting the person in a Pokemon tournament. Okay, it's not actually Pokemon, but it's close enough. And, it's just, you feel sort of isolated because it's like, weirdly enough, the characters it feels like the more characters you get, the lonelier you get. The lonelier it feels. And I think it does a good job of capturing that sensation of, it's kind of the opposite of it's kind of the opposite sort of loneliness found in Shadow of the Colossus. And these characters are Biggs and Wedge. I love you, Woolsey. You are a genius. Like, okay, like, this isn't like the first Square Enix game I've played. I mean, I've beaten Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger, but this is this is actually the first Final Fantasy game I'm playing. And, it looks fairly interesting so far. And, yeah, I do know that Woolsey translated this game. He also translated Chrono Trigger. And, he's definitely a character when it comes to translating this stuff. Yeah, I am excited to play this game, in case you can't tell. And, we're actually recording footage this time, so yeah, I made sure that this thing actually does record the footage. And, well, I like the music. I mean, this looks so beautiful. Also, in case you're wondering, I'm playing this on the PlayStation, like the port to it. There are some differences. I hear that the loading times on the PSX version are horrendous, but I haven't really seen them to really know, so if they get to be a problem, then yeah, I'll edit that out. But, I mean, I do want to see just how long they are. And, okay, so it looks like they're in control of they're controlling her somehow. And we just got attacked by a dog. So, Magitech, so it's like, so magic is banned, but like, Magitech isn't. Makes sense to me. Wow, dead in one hit. This isn't gonna be like in, like, what's it called? Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where it's like you start off really powerful, but you quickly lose that power. And I guess we just got attacked yet again. I guess so. I mean, I don't know what to say to this, but and you can use magic, so it's like, I don't get this. And we've gained a level, so that seems neat. Also, like, I feel I should mention, like, this is a blind LP, but blind does not mean unedited. I am going to be editing out some stuff, in particular if, like, we encounter another enemy that we've, like, encountered for, like, the 100th time. I'm not going to be showing repeats, because, yeah, that would just get annoying to watch. And, of course, the loading times, if they get to be a serious issue, I will also be editing them out as well. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a hiccup. And, so I guess we're caught with some dogs here. And, we can't be this powerful for the rest of the game. I mean, I bet you anything we are going to lose this power something. Maybe we'll, like, play as different characters, or, like, we can't be this invincible for that long. And we're invaded yet again! Fantastic! I mean, maybe I'll leave the first few battles in, but, I think you just, oh, okay, yeah, there is no way that you stay this powerful this long. I call it, something's gonna happen. You mark my words, and, we keep gaining levels. It's not bad. I mean, this place looks neat. It has a nice steampunk aesthetic to it. That's pretty cool. I like steampunk. It's very interesting. I like how it sort of looks historical, but yet also not historical as well, like futuristic. It's pretty cool. And, pincer attack? What's a pincer attack? That is, what is that? And, you can use fire on your allies? That's messed up. Like, also, does it make any difference which way they're facing? I get the feeling it's like important for something. But I can't confirm that. It's just a hunch. And I'm still not quite sure what pincer attack is. Also, who is question mark? Like, I guess it's the girl, but, who are we again? What side are we on? I don't know. Whatever it is, folks, tune in next time for more Let's Play Final Fantasy VI Blind. This is the Mississippi King signing out, and in the next video, maybe we'll find out who we are for once. And see y'all next time, Mississippi Dukes.